Well, good evening, Nabor. This is Rod. I'm cutting you a video because it's the easiest way for me to explain something that I think will really help get answers to your questions. And I'm sure you're aware we have a website, but we also have an app, a totally free app. It's available for any kind of device, whether it's a phone, a pad, um, or even a desktop or a laptop computer. Now, I've got this on my computer, Windows-based computer, in the Microsoft Store. The name of the app uh, for all devices is JW Library, and it's got a purple icon on it, and it's very easy to find. Just type in JW Library into whatever store you're in, and that'll come up. But let me show you what this app can do. So let's see, are we recording? Yeah. All right, so this is what the app looks like when you first open it up. This is what we might call the home page. Various announcements are found in this top row. We've got a little place here for a daily scripture. But the contents of the information is just incredible. Through this app, you have over 50 years of published information that is all available through this app. Now, the first icon over here on the left is the Bible. I'm going to show you this in English, but it's also available in the same, everything that I'm going to show you in English is available in Spanish. The scriptures, all 66 books of the Bible, are shown here. And if you pick any scripture, we'll just go to the book of Matthew. There's an overview. There's a video introduction to what the book of Matthew is all about. And in any chapter, in any verse that you happen to want to do research on, let's just click on 5. This set of icons shows up. It will read out loud the text, but this particular icon here, this diamond, is a list of specific notes on these verses that can be helpful in understanding the subject matter. But there's also something that's called a research guide, which is also available by just clicking here, right there. And the research guide opens up, and here all of the information that we've printed, or the most relevant information that's been printed about this verse, shows up in the margin. And it can be extensive information that can help answer various questions. Not only that, but if you're studying the Bible, you can highlight the information, color code it, and make notes. It's really cool. And you can even add tags that'll help you to find the information that you've created in the past. Furthermore, there's several different Bibles available. When we go up to this icon here, not only do we have different English Bibles available, but we've, of course, have different language Bibles. So, for example, if I go down here to Spanish, okay, the Spanish Biblia de Estudio, this is the one that you would want to download because this has the same features in it as the Bible that I'm just showing you now. This is called our study Bible. So let me just click on this. We'll bring the same information up. Whoops, crashed on me. All right, let's bring up the Spanish Bible. Okay, there. And here you see the same information. Now you have to download this research guide in order to get it. But once it's downloaded, then whenever you click on a scripture, if you have a desire to do research on it, it'll show up. Okay, like this. There we go. All right. So this is one very good reason why you ought to get this app. Not only do you have one of the best translations available in the world, but it's modern English, it's easy to understand, and it's got extensive research available so that on any particular subject, you can get additional information. Now, in addition to this, in this icon here called the library, we have all sorts of information available. Books, for example. This is all of the books that we've published over the years. And as you can see, this goes back to 1976. Oh, and this can be sorted according to the title or the year. So let's get that right. The oldest is 1970. But I'm going to go back over here because there's a book that I want to show you, which is going to help to answer the questions that you first asked, particularly about, how come there's so many different religions. Now, many years ago, we published this book called Mankind's Search for God. And in it, it talks about Christianity and particularly the apostasy. When you click on this, you'll notice that each chapter has a main title and questions for each paragraph that then helps us to focus on particular issues that we may be considering. What I'd like to show you in particular has more to do with the apostasy, which is where all of these different sects and denominations came from. This would be where you might really want to go in order to get a solid answer to the question that you asked. Now, incidentally, when you're reading through this and you come to a scripture, all you have to do is click on it and it pops up in the margin. Cool. And of course, in different translations and so on. And there's Spanish. So this is why I'd really like you to download this particular app so that you've got the information available that goes into, really quite a lot of detail about the various questions, not just the one that we're talking about right now, such as where did all of the sects and denominations come from, but other questions as well. So again, I really want to encourage you to get this, because what I was going to send you in the way of a link would have taken you to this information anyway, except it would be online. And the information online, of course, is in Spanish as well, but this is a whole lot easier to use. And I can then, once you open up the app, if I send you a link to something, the link will then open up in the app instead of take you to the website. And once you've got this, you don't have to you don't need an internet connection in order to read the material. Now, there's a couple of other things I'd like to show you about this app. One of the things that you bring up by asking the question of why are there so many divisions? Well, it speaks to the fact that there is a lack of um, continuity between different denominations and even within their own denominations. Now, I don't know what happens in an LDS church. I've never been to one. But in our congregations all throughout the world, every week we have two meetings. One is during the weekdays, and then one's on the weekend. And the subject matter that we discuss at these meetings is the same everywhere, every week, in every country, and in any language. And the reason we can do that is because of this app. Right here, this icon here, click on that. And for example, it shows you our two meetings. One is called a Life and Ministry meeting, which is during the week. And the weekend meeting, we have our Watchtower Study, which is a magazine that we publish that contains articles on various different subjects. I'll show you that in a minute. So when we download this Life and Ministry meeting workbook for September and October, it brings up the date. The information that we're going to be discussing comes from the book of Job, chapters 8 through 10. We click on that. Here's the book of Job and all of the scriptures it contains. We sing the same song. This becomes a lecture, a little 10-minute lecture on various subjects. Then we have a section in it that helps us to be prepared to share what we have learned with others. This is for our ministry. And then we have some additional information that we cover on any number of different subjects. They change every week. And then the last 30 minutes is a congregation Bible study, which we all participate in. And of course, we're starting a new book as of this week called Bearing Thorough Witness About God's Kingdom. And this, let me just show you this here. This goes through essentially the book of Acts and all of the different things that happened as Christianity was first getting started. And if you would like to attend any of our meetings, you're welcome to do so. You can even attend on Zoom. And I can give you a link to our Spanish meetings if you'd like. But this is a new publication that we're going through. Well, actually, we've gone through it before. We're going through it again. But from the standpoint of the questions that you've had or asked us over the weekend, this would be a really, really fine publication to read over and to get familiar with, because it'll walk you through everything that happened during the first century and how the Christian congregation got started and what happened in later times. Okay, enough said about that. Then over here is our Watchtower Study. This is an article that we consider together as a congregation. There's a conductor and so on. And we'll be talking about the subject of patience this coming Sunday. Okay, now there's just another thing I wanted to show you here. I'm going to go back here to this library. And you'll notice here videos. We have hundreds of videos in this app that can be downloaded, and for all sorts of different subjects, like the family. And you see how long each of the videos lasts. Most of them are relatively short. But we have, like you, we have a week, a day during the week that we set aside for what we call family worship. And here's just some of the things that we discuss during family worship that can help us, to have a meaningful discussion with our families on a number of different scriptural subjects. So you can download these. But one that I would like you to download in particular, if we go back here to our meetings and our ministry, you'll notice here there's a video called Why Study the Bible. It's only 3 minutes long. It's well worth reviewing. Here's another one. What happens at a Bible study? We would be very interested in making arrangements to study the Bible with you and your family, or just with you personally. That would be fine. And if you're interested in that, just take a look at this particular video. You'll find it very interesting. It'll give you some insight as to what takes place. Here's a video on what happens at our Kingdom Hall during our meetings. Here's a little bit more information about who we are. And then there's a number of different videos on various different biblical subjects. So take a look at that. And then maybe if you have questions, we can talk more about it. So that's our app. It's a really great app. But I'm going to show you one other thing that we have available that's actually built into this app, but I can't really show it to you as easily in the app as I can outside of the app. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to the bottom of the screen. Let's go back to the home page. And here is where we can connect to our website. And over here is our online library. I'm going to pull this over here. Okay, now this also is just an amazing part of our website. Under publications, over here is a publication index. And as you see, it goes back all the way to 1930. Let me get rid of this. Now watch what happens here. Maybe I'm curious about a particular subject. When I click on this index, it's broken down into subject index and scripture index. Subject index. I can enter the topic, and let's just say Christianity. And I'm just going to, instead of looking through this, I'm just going to go down to the index itself. The whole subject of Christianity is broken down into subheadings. And for example, if we go down here to, let's see. Oh, I'm not in the place where I wanted to be. Oh, no, I am. Okay, just a second. Okay, there it is. The beginning of Christianity. And when you just touch this, you can see various subjects. And this is found in this publication, Mankind's Search for God, which I showed you earlier. And this is what gave me the clue to go to this particular publication, because we want to find out more about how Christianity began, and of course, from there, why there were so many different denominations. So that's how I located that particular publication for you, is through this. Now, going back to the publication index, when you click on it, you can also go to the scriptures. So if we went to any of these Bible books, the scriptures are cited, okay? And then information about them is listed here. And this is all available free online for anybody that knows how to get to it. But this gives you an idea of just how much research we've done on any particular subject. We've really done the research. So you can, again, get to this by way of the app. All you have to do is just go to the home page, go to online library, click on that, and up it pops. And then you go to either enter the topic or just go directly to the publications, and it's under publication index. So it's very cool. All right. Well, I think that's probably enough. But again, what I'm encouraging you to do in review is to download the JW Library app, access the book Mankind's Search for God. All right. And when you do that, let me just, because I don't know what it's called in Spanish. So let me just do that for you again. We'll go over here to books.